Okay, now I started to do this by hand, and as you can see, it's not the best finish, but it did rough out a lot of the casting work and flaws. I needed an arbor to make it easier to hold and to finish, and so I decided I'd use a drill bit because it was the most accurate arbor that I had, and the only one I could get into my drill bit since it's only a half-inch drill. But when you do this, you want to keep a couple of things in mind. First of all, you want to make sure it's good and snug on your drill bit. And then second of all, when you're working with the grinder, you want to make sure that you're working in the bottom half, or bottom quarter actually, of the wheel. And these wheels, I've had this thing for about 6 years, and they are absolutely, I've worked it, you know, I've gone through at least 100 belts, if not more. And I have finished everything: wood, plastic, of course metal, anything that you need to sand. They will sand, and they'll sand nicely. Don't ever run it without the belt on there, because it will grenade. So, and they are directional belts. And these belts that I got these on at a deal, but they're a little wider than the belt or the wheel that I have. You get these belts, I got mine on eBay, but they're lapidary, or I mean these wheels rather. They're lapidary wheels is what they're basically used for. And just to show you, now I set my drill on low and on a low speed. And as you work, because it's not exactly a smooth machine finish, and so you're going to get some vibration and some belt. And so if you work at a real high speed, then you'll just make it worse. But anyways, you work on the lower bottom quarter of the belt, and as you work it, be very careful of where your drill bit tip is. And make sure that it doesn't snag anything loose, any loose clothing or anything like that. And as you can see very rapidly, the finish is starting to come onto the wheel. I'll give you a shot here of both halves just to show you a comparison between the two sides. And I like to use the cordless drill because it gives you a little bit of flexibility, but it also is a variable speed. Now there are still some pretty big pits in here. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. And but you can see there's quite a difference in the finish between the two sides. And those pits will come out with a little bit of time. I'm not using a very aggressive wheel. Because I like to work slow and do a good job. I'm not in a hurry to get this done. Anyways, as we work it, we'll work the bottom quarter, even bottom third of the wheel here, and that's the safest area to work. Anywhere from here down to about the 6 o'clock on the wheel is about your safest. Outside of that, it'll push and grab, so be very careful. But you can see the flexibility of the rubber allows for the belt to follow the contour of the material, and so the finish is quite nice. And then after I'm done grinding, I'll simply put the buffing wheel back on there, and with some black emery, I believe is what this is called, and put a nice polished finish on there so that it looks just like this. Now I want to show you one other thing that I use this belt for, and I'm going to pause a second and reposition the camera, and I'll show you.